Hello and welcome to the latest in a series of podcasts that follow along with our book, The Wizard of God. This is Steve Roy, and today we're going to be discussing Chapter 3. You're invited to download a free digital copy of The Wizard of God from our website, wizardofgod.com. Or if you like, you can purchase a paper copy through Amazon or Barnes & Noble. In these podcasts, we're going chapter by chapter, discussing our character's journey through the land of God. If you haven't read chapters 1, 2, and 3 yet, please do. Okay? Let's get started. In chapter 3, we meet Hayden. Heading down the road in search of the wizard, Grace spots him sitting on a platform at the top of a pole. He tells Grace he's meditating, basically trying to get in touch with himself and the universe. As chapter 3 is rather short and mostly just introducing us to Hayden, I'd like to talk about what exactly he was doing up on that pole. So over the past few years, I've had several people inform me, nonchalantly, that they're asking the universe for something. When I first heard this rather incredible statement, I really didn't know what to say. Well, that's interesting. They never explained exactly what asking the universe entailed, but they all seemed very hopeful that the universe would be getting back to them shortly. As more people told me this, it became clear that asking the universe was a thing. I wondered if it was just something trendy to say you were doing or if there was any substance to it. So I did what everyone does. To get to the bottom of things, I did a Google search. And lo and behold, the top search result told me almost everything I needed to know. The header read, 7 steps you absolutely must take whenever you ask the universe for something. So contacting the universe is basically a 7-step program? Wow. Well, if you want, you can search and find the 7 steps. They're actually very funny, but I'm not laughing at the folks who believe in such things. Some are friends of mine and very nice people, and many are very sincere seekers of truth. They're looking for answers, and they really need help. So this is no joke. Deeper into my Google search, I found that along with asking the universe for stuff, many in this group also believe in something called the universal law of attraction. Well, there's truth in the law of attraction, of course. Positive people tend to attract positive things, and conversely, negative people tend to attract negative things. The problem is with the tend to. Did the innocent victim of a crime, a small child perhaps, really attract the evil? Of course not. No way this law is absolute. Another weak link in this belief system is the trust it puts in the human brain to transmit and receive clearly from the universe. That takes a lot of faith. This is where Hayden was struggling. Trust myself to receive a clear signal from the universe? Honestly, I'm not feeling very good about putting that kind of faith in my little brain. And I don't know about you, but to me it seems like a huge leap of faith to believe in a universe that actually takes requests, like the cover band at your local bar, especially requests from unimportant, relatively microscopic beings like you and me. But here's the big question. When I'm asking the universe, exactly who or what am I asking? Is the universe a who or a what? This seems like a basic question. Are these folks seeking answers or stuff they want from a personal being or something impersonal? If the universe is impersonal, then I'm trying to communicate with matter and energy, like talking to a rock or an avocado or a thunderstorm. That would be the same as talking to the universe. Only persons can hear, understand, communicate with, and know another person. Allow me to repeat what I just said because this applies to many fringe and even some mainstream religions. Only persons can hear, understand, communicate with, or know another person. So what does it mean to be personal? A person. The dictionary says to be personal is being rational and self-conscious, having the qualities of a person rather than a thing or something abstract, a thought or a concept, being rational and self-conscious. This seems really simple to me. See what you think. You are a who. Only a who can make a who. A who can make an it, but an it can't make a who. and it can't communicate with a who on a personal level. Only a who can communicate with a who. Does this make sense to you, you amazing who you? It's got to be so when people are saying they're asking the universe for this or that they don't really mean they're asking planets, suns, or galaxies, or dark matter, but rather the word universe is actually code for an unseen spiritual force behind matter and energy. These people fit into what is called the undefined God, spiritual but not religious camp. They believe in a supernatural being, but as they consider themselves non-religious, they use universe as an alternative word for God. This belief system absolutely belongs in the land of God, small g. It is man-made, definitely man-centered, and requires us to adopt techniques and follow steps in order to make contact with this unseen spiritual force in order to achieve the desired result. As always, it's get the carrot and/or avoid the stick. In life, I want to experience as much pleasure as I can while avoiding as much pain as possible. This universe religion appears to me to be an adapted form of Hinduism. More about that in a minute, but to sum it up, according to the reviewers and former followers of this attraction asking the universe thing, this appears to have been created to sell a particular book. Actually, a series of books. Well, The Secret appears to be all about making a lot of money selling books. The latest offshoot of this nonsense is called manifesting. You can look it up if you want. It's pretty much the same as the law of attraction or getting in touch with the universe. One way manifesting works, though, it sure helps TikTok gurus manifest a lot of followers. One guru even charges people to guide them into manifesting. I wonder what she's trying to manifest. This is profoundly sad because these so-called gurus are taking advantage of hurting, lonely, hungry, and possibly desperate people. In the end, all they have to offer these naive and gullible souls is smoke and mirrors. What if attracting or manifesting was the last thing a hurting person was going to try before they, giving people false hope who have no hope can lead to tragic consequences. Hinduism, however, is another story. Maybe Hayden was trying to practice an American version of Hinduism. This is also trendy. I've met quite a few American Hindu wannabes, and they're quite serious about their beliefs, many of them. Here's a brief overview of Hinduism. It's the third largest religion in the world. In Hinduism, Brahman, not the universe, is the cosmic soul or God. I'll quote here from Wikipedia. Brahman is the eternal essence of the universe and the ultimate divine reality. It is the life source of all that has been, is, and will be throughout the entire cosmos. It is not an individual being. It is more like the primal ground or reality of all being and existence. Our individual soul is called Atman. The core tenet in Hinduism is Atman is Brahman. This is saying quite simply that the individual soul is the cosmic soul. In other words, each individual soul, say yours or mine, comes from and is made of the same reality as the world soul. It is one. There is no distinction between us on the one hand and the ultimate divine reality on the other. So the ultimate goal in Hinduism is to realize our oneness with the cosmos. And this leads to 3 outcomes. Quoting again, to realize one's oneness with the cosmos is to pass beyond personality. To realize one's oneness with the cosmos is to pass beyond knowledge. And to realize one's oneness with the cosmos is to pass beyond good and evil. Okay, first let me say I understand the appeal of embracing one's oneness with the cosmos. There's a profound element of truth here that we'll talk more about later. However, this belief system brings up a lot of questions. I don't have the time to dig too deep here, but I'll say this about passing beyond personality or personhood. At the deepest level within me, I know there's a clear distinction between me, the who that is me, and other persons, and between me and the cosmos. I know there's a distinction between, for example, Hitler and Mother Teresa. I know there's a distinction between me and Hitler and Mother Teresa. There is unity of all things, but there is also fundamental diversity. And for the goal of passing beyond good and evil, we all know deep within us that good is good and evil is evil. They both actually exist independently and are distinct opposites. One is light and the other is darkness. I'm not talking about my opinion versus yours on some random subject. I'm talking about the difference between pure love and cold-blooded evil. I do possess individual knowledge, and I know on the deepest level that good is good and evil is evil, and they do not arise from the same cosmic soul. But let me ask you, are you willing to pass beyond individual personality, individual knowledge? Are you willing to pass beyond good and evil? Does this resonate with you? To adopt this as a theory or philosophy is one thing, but can it be lived out? Can a person really live this way, thinking good and evil are really the same? Are you prepared to stop being you and nothing more than part of a cosmic soul? When you see injustice, pure evil, are you prepared to see it as nothing more than an illusion generated from your unenlightened mind? What if the evil is happening to you or someone you love? Any religion, philosophy that can't be lived out, actually put into practice in this life, is, in my view, useless. It's a concept, a theory, that's born, lives, and dies in the mind. It isn't real, and so has no relevance to those living in the real world. Additionally, as Brahman, or the world or cosmic soul, is not an individual soul, it doesn't possess the qualities of person. Brahman can't be known, give advice, hear your wants, needs, grant wishes of any kind, because the cosmic soul is impersonal. There's no hope for person-to-person communication with Brahman because only a personal being can relate to you as a person. We can't ask or receive anything from an impersonal God. This God doesn't know us or love us. It just is, we just is, and that's just it. And that's bad news for lost, confused, and hungry people. And of course, like all religions, any success at Hinduism depends totally on us and our ability to understand, navigate, obey, and practice the disciplines of this religion. We have to work, struggle, search for what we need, mostly in the dark. And all this takes place while we're desperately hungry. Oh, and here's one more problem with asking the universe for stuff. We have to trust our brain to know what to ask for, what's really best for us. Most of us have no idea what we really need. We feel very strongly we do, and then we get it and not so much. Have you ever had desires, wishes that later on you're very glad didn't come true? I know I have. Do I really need a God like Genie in Aladdin who grants wishes under the right conditions? If I actually got all the stuff I've wished for, got all the advice I needed, would I finally be happy and content? Would the deep hunger of my soul be satisfied for good? If this is true, then the super rich would be the happiest people on earth. Well, they aren't the happiest people, not even close. One final word on what we've been looking into. If man-made religion, regardless of the flavor, seems exhausting and confusing, and it's exhausting just to talk about it, believe me, it's because it is. It's designed to be exhausting and confusing. They want you to believe you don't have what it takes, that you can't really know what is real and what is illusion. They want you to believe you can't know God. But don't worry, they'll tell you all you need to know. They have gurus, priests, holy ones that will know and will guide you. Come back next week with your offering. Buy the next book, etc. They will know God for you and give you the Cliff Notes. Sounds easy and scary. And this is how it works in the land of God, small g. At the end of chapter 3, Grace is hungry again. I'm sure Hayden is as well. Pole sitting has to make a dude work up an appetite. Will they find food that's actually allowed to be eaten today in the land of God? If so, where do they find it? Are there many sources of food in the land of God? Is it all good, or is some food spoiled, contaminated? Will finding the right food be a matter of life or death? Well, no matter where you are on the road of life, one thing's for sure is you'll need good food daily, because the day is when we need to eat. Not sometime down the road when the universe or cosmic mind finds an opening in its calendar and gets back to me. I'll be weaker then, maybe too weak. For those of you who've maybe had some hope in unlocking the secrets of the universe or manifesting, I wonder if you've only seen God in the context of religion. If so, no doubt this small g God has only left you hungry and thirsting for more, something real. Maybe you've abandoned traditional religion, but still want to believe in at least the idea of a personal and good being behind creation. Well, you're on the right track. That you must transcend the physical world to find what you're seeking. But you won't find it by getting any it that you're trying to manifest, or by making contact with an impersonal universe that somehow grants wishes. What you really want can only come from a person. The gospel or good news of Jesus' promises, the true living God, will absolutely provide what you truly need for life today. The Bible teaches that humans were created by a personal God in the same image. I'm going to quote from Genesis chapter 1, verse 27. God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. This doesn't teach that God has a physical body like us, but that God is the uncreated person, possessing all the attributes of personhood that we defined earlier. God is the uncreated creator. We were created in this image. We are persons, and we are creators. This is the essence of who we are. And as a result, we can know God and be known by God. Who wouldn't want to actually know their Creator? Not know about, that's religion and philosophy, but to actually know the one who breathed life into you. Who doesn't want to know the reason why they were created? Wouldn't this be the meaning of life? I believe we're all really searching for love, a pure love, to be loved and, yes, noticed and cared for by our Creator. And yes, we do need help, real help, just to live day by day. This can only come from a personal and good God. Is this really possible, to have an intimate, loving relationship with your Creator? Jesus said that eternal or spiritual life is knowing God. This knowing is not intellectual in nature, but of the Spirit, knowing God deeply, intimately. If this intimate relationship with God is why we were created, can anything less ultimately satisfy? To know God and be known by God. Could this be what Hayden was searching for on the pole? Could this be the home that Grace is searching for? But Grace is part of a Christian church. She actually lives in one next door. So why is she still searching? Well, it's about time to bring this podcast to a close, but I want to end with some more good news. How can we really know what is true and what isn't? How can we know anything for sure? The latest trend, and it is a trend, is to affirm whatever someone is feeling or believing in their brain is truth. It is truth for them. My truth may be different from yours, but my truth is just as valid, which must mean just as true as yours. This is opinion. It's belief, fantasy, but it's not truth. Truth is simply reality, not subjective, but objective reality. Truth is what is really real. We want to affirm everyone's individual truth because we want to support and encourage them, and we should support and encourage people. We want them to feel valuable. But unless we're believing the real truth, we'll be putting our trust in a lie. Lies are unrealities. We can't find what we need in untruth, unrealities, anything. But we are limited beings, and so on our own, we're unable to see the whole picture, are unable to know truth. Here's where the good news comes in. Listen to the words of Jesus from the Gospel of John, chapter 8, beginning at verse 31. Then Jesus said to those Jews who believed him, If you abide in my word, you are my disciples indeed, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. My friends, only the truth, the real true truth, can make us free. And as limited beings, we need God to reveal truth to us. But God wants us to know the truth, not keep us in the dark. This is good news. God wants us to know truth, to know Him. Yes, this is why we were created, for relationship with God and with each other. I'm going to read a verse from Hebrews 8 that is quoting a prophecy from the book of Jeremiah chapter 31. Jeremiah was announcing the foundations of the new covenant that the Messiah, Jesus, would bring. Hebrews 8 teaches that this is the promise that was fulfilled in Jesus. Hebrews 8, verse 11. And they, meaning religious leaders, anyone, will not teach each one his fellow citizen and each one his brother, saying, Know the Lord, for they will all know me, from the least of them to the greatest of them. We will know, from the least of us to the greatest. We won't have to depend on the gurus to know God for us. We won't have to depend on our limited brains to hear from the cosmos. In Christ Jesus, God with us, we will know. Even if we are the least, we will know. To know about something can be very complicated. It can take years of study, even for the greatest. But to know by experience, to know by relationship, through relationship, even the least can do this. We can know personally. Friends, the Christian message is not about us searching for God. The good news is about God searching and finding us. This is from Luke 19, verse 10. For the Son of Man has come to seek and save that which was lost. Man, that's good news. But again, if this is true, and it is, as a Christian, why is Grace so lost? Is she? Maybe she's just asleep. Stay with us and find out what Grace discovers. She's got a long way to go to make it through the land of God, but at least now she's not alone. Hayden seems like a nice guy, or at least harmless. Join us next time as the new traveling companions enter the forest. Grace and peace to you, my friends. Bye for now.